Hold on.
Why Africans hate African Americans, or why Africans.
Ooh, hold on. All right. Now listen, you see the title, you already know it's about to go down. It's about to be one of the most exciting situations. And I want to say exciting, but this is a good conversation because a lot of people always ask, like, what is the difference? Why when Africans come over to America, they have this type of perspective or this reality of how they feel about Black Americans or even African Americans? Where is it coming from? And this response has to be one of the most diabolical responses I've seen so far, but I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let you listen to it, and we're going to go back and forth. If my name's AdonisCrashBoom, you guys are watching Adonis Live, and if you haven't liked this video yet, big fella, if you like this video before this video ever started, you're a true legend. But if you haven't liked the video yet, give this video a like. We're going to get into this real quick. Shout outs to the members, shout outs to the supporters. Let's get this thing started. I'm very curious to hear your response after this video. This is for educational purposes only. Let's get started. Here we go.
Hate African Americans, or why Africans dislike African Americans. Let's talk about it. As an African myself, I'm going to talk about this because it's a personal experience I have seen with the African American community. I myself, I've been in the US for about 12 years. Ever since I've been here, not one African American has been welcoming to me. They've always been so judgy. They're giving me the side-eye look every time I talk, every time I open my mouth. You guys are like, huh? You guys fail to understand that I have like 5 different languages that are playing in my head, and English doesn't happen to be one of them. When I first came to America, I didn't know how to say hi. I didn't know how to say hello. I didn't even know how to introduce my name. I didn't even know how to count from 1 to 10. Instead of you guys welcoming me because we have the same skin color, you guys want.
Ooh, let's stop right there. Now, you said, hold on. Like I said, this is going to be a very diabolical interaction itself. But one of the things I really want to address, you said because we have welcoming, because we have the same skin color. I'm not going to be aggressive throughout this particular situation, but I'm definitely going to give my opinion. What do you mean the same skin color? It was the same skin color that was selling slaves to European people to be shipped across the world to be SA'd, aggressively treated, diabolically. I'm not going to even say because I don't want to get flagged. But you understand what I'm saying. What does that mean? Just because we have the same skin color, you're supposed to be treated differently, or you're supposed to be treated special, like somebody's supposed to care or some type of shit? No, they don't. What do you mean? We already know. We know the history of what Africans have done to enslaved people throughout the world. And you guys are you forgetting this? We don't forget. We remember what happened. We remember the history of what happened to the slaves. So when you sit down and say, "Oh, we have the same skin color," I'm sorry. That don't mean nothing to me. You're not going to be treated any type of special treatment. Just because you erase what happened to slavery doesn't mean the rest of the world has. You can run away from your demons. We face them straight on. That's just our culture. But let's continue. That's just my thoughts.
You want to talk about how much I smelled, how much I don't know how to shower. I'm new to the country. I don't know what you guys are using. The only thing I was used to, it was water, soap, and powder. And if that smelled that bad to you, where you have to sit next to me in a classroom and all you did was this, my bad. But that was very, very good.
So you hate so you don't like African Americans or Black Americans because you smelled in school and they told you that you smelled and they didn't want to sit next to you because you didn't like the smell? You think just because you come from a different country that people are supposed to give you okay, let her pass? Shorty, if you stink, you stink. I don't understand. Why should I have to deal with somebody else's odor? That's your problem, not mine. Actually, it was my problem. And what I did, I went like this. Not me, I'm not saying, but you can't judge a whole group of people based on an experience that you had when you arrived into America, into a impoverished neighborhood with our particular community, and then say, "Oh, I smelled, I didn't know what soap or that." Shorty, that's not our problem. We don't have to deal with an immigrant migrating into America and coming into our classroom and we have to deal with you smelling like straight up funk. When is the diabolicalness can stop? That's what I want to know. When is it okay to tell somebody, "Shorty, you smell"? Like, when is it okay to respond in a way that's unethical or oh, so sweet? Why does everybody need to act a certain type of way? Why don't people understand everybody has different cultures? Like, I'm not understanding. Why are you being so aggressive? Because this is my culture. This is where I grow from. What is wrong with you? You don't like it? Take your ass back to your country. Stop going to other people's cultures and environments and thinking that you can change the way people act because it rubs you the wrong way. It rubs you the wrong way? Then take your ass somewhere else. You're not built for that. And stop trying to mold everybody into being acceptable to what you feel is. No, we come from the most diabolical, aggressive environment you've ever seen in your life. And actually, you didn't even see about it. You only heard about it. And then you come here and look at us. A lot of our generations come out from PTSD. We have multiple generations of people who have PTSD. But you know what? Let me not ramble. Let's get back to the video.
In high school or in life in general, you guys don't want to get into groups. You guys don't want to partner up with us. You guys, even if we do partner up with you guys, you don't want to hear what we have to say. We always feel left out. We're so scared to talk around you because it's so hard for you to even understand us or even pay attention to what we're actually saying to you. When a white person cannot understand what you're saying, all they say that is this: hey, I noticed your accent. Where are you from? Your accent is so beautiful. Where are you from? And when you tell them where you're from, how many languages you speak, and why you struggle to speak English, they're so happy. They're so excited.
But you're not in a all-white neighborhood. You're in a all-black neighborhood that has a whole bunch of black customs and cultures. I don't know if you know, you've probably been too emotional to actually realize that in black communities, one of the things that we do on a consistent daily basis is joke about each other. We joke and snap and cut ass on each other on a consistent daily basis. This is what we do. It's a part of the culture. You can't handle it. How can you say, oh, when a white person comes to me, they ask me all of these things and they want to partner and listen to what I have to say? You're not in their neighborhood. You're not in their community. You're not the person that's in their community. They see you for that 9 to 5 time and then they take their ass home. But you hate all black Americans and all African Americans because of your childhood traumas of being bullied and picked. Here's a little rain check. In the inner cities, I don't know where you're from, but in the inner cities, that's what they do. We got thick ass skin. You got to learn it. We got some of the best comedians in the world. Where do you think the best comedians come from? Huh? Where do you think the best comedians and artistic, interesting people come from? It comes from a dark place. Success comes from a dark place. That's why we have the best entertainers in the world. It's because every single entertainer came from a dark place. We grew up in these environments talking shit and slandering each other for the sake of a joke, hurting people's feelings for the sake of a joke. That's our culture. You're not from that culture, but you hate a whole bunch of people because you didn't want to assimilate to the culture that you migrated into, and we just have to deal with it. All right, let's just get back to this.
Do you know how hard it is to learn a language that you knew nothing about? In a year, I'm talking, I'm introducing myself. I'm going to the store, I'm doing a lot of stuff on my own. Do you know how hard that is? One thing that really, really gives me an ick about the African American people is when you guys have a problem with somebody. You want to throw in somebody's whole family. You want to talk about how you're going to unalive the whole family. You want to get your whole family to come and fight, start this whole drama over a little misunderstanding because somebody skipped you in line at a grocery store, or somebody took something that was just the only item that was there and you wanted it, that person wanted it. You want to talk about how when you get to the car, you're going to shoot that person. Come on now. Let's be mindful and very professional. You guys are so loud.
How is it being very mindful and very professional? You're in a hostile environment that has one of the most egregious historical histories in the world. We come from a culture of fuck around and find out, and you're in a country that's been built off the back of people who had to fuck around and find out. Matter of fact, they didn't even fuck around. They just found out off regular, and now you're getting upset because they always on smoke. They're not playing with people. They're not joking around with people, because when you joked around with people, fun fact, let's bring it back to a little bit of history. You know that saying that when people sit down and say black Americans or African Americans can't swim, you know that saying? You know why that saying comes from? It's not because they can't swim. It's because when black children and black Americans would go into the pool or the beaches or anywhere inside of any neighborhood, white people would come around, and this is a fact, and either throw bleach into the pool or even try to drown them. So black people entirely just said, you know what? I'm not going to go swimming at all. So when it comes down to playing around with people, stepping in front, we're not playing. We're not guessing. We're not joking. It's not one of those situations. We come from that environment. You didn't do your due diligence to learn the history. And then secondly, you said that, you know how difficult it is to learn a different language? Who cares? That's not their problem. That's your problem. They don't have to sit there and be compassionate or empathetic to you because you migrated into a different country and you want to associate yourself with other people from their country, and now you want them to treat you differently because you migrated to a different country when that country's already been going through a whole bunch of different type of situations and shit. That's not your problem. They got a whole bunch of other problems they need to worry about and making sure that you feel okay. Like, everybody's living their own life, but you feel like you get major priority because you migrated from another country. It's diabolical to me. I generally don't understand it at all. But that's the reason you hate all African and Black Americans, right? Let me get back to the video.
You guys are very, very weak. You don't consider how other people feel. You just put your feelings first before you even think about any situation. Because there's no way you're very willing to shoot me outside a grocery store parking lot because I took too long to pay because I couldn't understand what the cashier said. There is no way. There's no way at work I am opening my food because it doesn't smell like the food you usually eat and you're like this. There is no way. That is so disrespectful.
Of course it's disrespectful. That's the world you live in. You came to America. It's freedom of speech and freedom of expression. You don't like that someone's smelling your food and don't like the smell of it? That's their right to do that. That's the country you chose to migrate into. And I don't want to keep bringing up the migration part, but you have to understand the world doesn't move to your step. It doesn't move to your tempo. You can't just sit here and act like this on a consistent basis and think, well, you want to shoot me because I took too long to order at the store and because I didn't understand. Then move your ass out the way. People got things they need to do. You living in a culture, and I understand everything ain't sunshine and rainbows. I understand. I get it. I could see this from a compassionate perspective. I could see this from a vulnerable, empathetic perspective. I really can. But then I could also see from the people that got shit that need to do when they got their kids that need to go to school and they trying to rush and get everything done, and somebody's in their country that don't even speak the same type of language, and they take it forever just to order a bag of chips. And the person is just telling them, like, you could just step to the side. I got 20, you got 20 different products, big fella. I got one product. Move. Let me let me get my stuff done and get out the way. You need time, then okay. Don't make everybody else's situation uncomfortable because you're uncomfortable. Not everybody needs to have compassion and empathy when it comes down to living in their particular life. You live in a reality or in a society where it's like that. You came to America. It's not our fault that you did not understand the situation and circumstances and the rules and conditions on living in America. That's your fault. Oh, you didn't know you were young? Okay, but you can't marginalize a whole group because a couple people, depending on where you grew up at, didn't like the way you behaved, didn't like the way you... I had people I grew up with who cut ass on me every single day. I had people that I grew up with me who joked about me, joked about my... They used to say I lived in the attic. Do I hate all Spanish people, all Black American people? No, it's part of the culture. It's what makes you an American. Shit. And instead of being emotional online and trying to get this rage bait type of content to get people to rally up against you, why don't you get some thick ass skin and learn from the Americans who've been there instead of being some type of...
There's no way any problem you have with somebody, you're going to mention how much gun you have in your car. You guys live like you don't care about what happens tomorrow. You want to fight, you want to go to jail, you don't care. I care about my life, I care about what's on my background, so I'm not going to be involved with people who actually don't care about going to prison, about being arrested for assault, for fighting, for just threatening people. There's no way I'm going to be around those people. That's not me.
And that's the reason why you fled your country to move to America, because you all are not all of you, but you in particular, shorty, you're passive. You live a passive life, and the warriors have to stand up and fight for what they believe in. No one's stepping on my foot and walking around and thinking it's acceptable, okay. But you come from a society where they do that shit, and now you don't want to live there, but you want to live in a warrior society and want them to be weak like y'all. Come on, make it make sense, gang. I'm not understanding. And I understand. You might say, oh, but look how she's speaking. But what she's saying is diabolical and the most aggressive attack I've ever seen. I don't care. I could sit here and talk like this and be all kind and nice and all diplomatic and stuff and say the most diabolical shit like you smell like ass and your breath stinking and I don't like you because you ugly. I could do all of that and make it sound all sweet and nice. Or I could just talk to you the way it is. Shorty's saying the diabolical shit. True or false, chat? She's saying diabolical shit and then just trying to say it in a nice way. Just because I wasn't aggressive, who cares? Aggressive is not even aggressive in 2025. It's just a character trait at this moment in time, big fella. Back.
Feel, and I saw this person ask, why do we talk to white people and white people for the white people than you? But white people actually understand us. What makes you different? They also only speak English. You only speak English too. They understand us because they actually listen. You guys are just loud for no reason. You just screaming, jumping around for no reason. You don't listen. Like, you don't listen to listen. You listen to talk.
Loud for no reason. Shorty, you're killing me. It's called freedom of expression and freedom of speech. You probably didn't learn this. You have the right to be loud and obnoxious and express yourself on a consistent daily basis. You want to be restricted and you want other people to restrict you. Well, how are you on social media? Why are you here? You want to be restricted? Get your ass and lock your ass in your house. I want to scream. I want to run around. You're the type of person that don't even walk around in your house butt naked without children. You feel me? You're the type of person that sleep fully clothed in your house because you still want to be restricted. You need to figure out what's going on with you. Now, let me stop trolling. I'm not trying to be funny. No, listen, it's about communication. Like, at the end of the day, you should have the right to be expressive. It's your life. You live every day and you only die once. So why do you have to contain yourself, and why not be expressive and loud and emotional? How can you sit down and talk like this, but then listen to all of our artists and all of our musics? But let's get back to this. Let's finish this video up, and then I'm going to get my thoughts at the end of it.
Yes, you won't listen to listen. You listen to talk. This is my own opinion why I do not like African American people. I don't speak for everybody.
And your opinion was diabolical. Everything you just said was diabolical. I'm not going to front. This is my own opinion while living in America, taking the resources and the opportunities that was created by the suffering in the backs of Black American and African American people in general. And you say, well, you don't listen. I listened to everything you said, and it was just some straight up bullshit. I'm going to let you know right now, there was no particular reason for you to marginalize and generalize every single person because you had a couple of discomfort situations while living in a high school, while being in a high school, because you migrated over to a different country. You migrated over to a different country. You do know when you go to a different country, you got different cultures that you interact with, big fella? That's what it is. You get mad because people don't treat you the way they treated you when you was in Africa? Diabolical. You're not in Africa. You're in a whole other side of the continent with a whole other reality. What's good with you, shorty? And then you sit here and say, you listen to only, you don't even listen to understand. You just listen to respond back. Well, I'm responding back to you. I heard everything you said. I broke down everything you just said, and it makes no damn sense. You a damn fool. And I heard a kid in the background, so that means you're going to be raising your children with the same type of mentality you had. How the hell do you sit down and say, like, oh, you guys don't care about your life or what's going to happen after that? How you going to go on this social media platform at this moment in time, say all this diabolical shit, and think your life is going to be normal after that? Make it make sense. I need to know. I need to know what you're looking for. Nah, let me stop trolling. Listen, you're tripping. You got into a black neighborhood when you came into the United States of America. Was most likely a red line neighborhood, but we're not going to talk about that because I'm sure you probably don't even know the history of Americans or Black Americans or African Americans in general. You're just the emotional woman. Girl. You're still mad with a whole kid in the background. I don't know if it was your kid, but I heard the kid whining. You're still mad over what happened to you when you was in a high school. You kept your rage, and now that you're adult, you can put out all of your frustrations and discomforts, and then you said, this is my opinion. No, you generalized the statement at the end of the video. At the beginning of the video, you said, in your words, why Africans hate African Americans. You didn't say why you specifically titled that. And even in the hashtags, it's all the same stuff. So when you sit down and say, that's my opinion, no, you're generalizing. You're saying that Africans feel like that. And if Africans do feel like that, then hey, but I doubt they do. And my only curiosity is, why am I the only person that has seen this video and made this video in response to that? It's just diabolical at this moment in time. And I'm going to make this very clear. I do understand that all Africans don't think like that. But the problem I'm having is a lot of Africans are not making videos on this diabolical woman. Where are all the Pan-Africans at this moment in time? No shade to them, but like, why am I the only person? Like, even when it comes to Pan-Africanism, when I watch people talk about Pan-Africanism, I never see a Pan-African grabbing other Africans by the necks and wrangling them up and talking about these particular situations at all. It never occurred to me. I never see it at all. I don't know why. It just doesn't happen. Maybe it does. But can somebody please tag or show me somebody who does this on a consistent daily basis? Why does it always have to be a black American who can educate their African people on how to behave and react? And why isn't this embarrassing to Africans? Like, I look at this and it's, you tell me that I can't generalize all Africans and think that they're this uneducated or this uncultured or this baffling. But they can do that and nobody stands up about it at all. It's just diabolical. It's just diabolical. I genuinely don't understand. Like, I genuinely don't. And as much, don't get mad at me. I'm just a passionate, funny type of person. I'm just going to be honest with you. But thus that saying that note, I'm just going to be honest with you. Thus saying that, I appreciate you guys for making it. And if you guys agree with anything I said in here, or you don't agree with anything I said, comment in the chat down below. And if you made it this far into the video, and you're still listening, comment in the chat, diabolical behavior. Diabolical behavior. And then choose any emoji you want with it, all right? I'm just letting you know. Diabolical behavior. All right. And this is for the people that don't really comment. They just watch the video just to watch the video because they like the podcast type of feel and vibe of it. I understand. You probably washing your dishes. You better get off the dishes, stop cooking, go to the phone, go to your laptop, go to your computer, TV, or whatever, and type in diabolical behavior. Big fella. I'm just saying, all right? But that's diabolical. That whole interaction was diabolical. Her reaction, her response, the way she tried to make it seem more passive. Nah, I'm taking passive aggressive and microaggressions as full-blown aggressive in 2025. Passive aggressive, microaggressions, I'm taking it as full-blown aggressive and assault. I don't care. There's no micro or passive. It's all aggression, bro. That's what it's going to be for me. That's just me, though. But what are your thoughts? Please don't forget to give a like, comment, subscribe, show your love, not your anger. My name's AdonisCrashBoom. You guys are watching Adonis Live, and please, don't only see me one way. I see you guys later, and don't forget it's a movie.